Hey Steve, this is Devin with Search Surge Marketing. Made this quick audit here just to give you some ideas as to what has to happen with your website, some of the things you can do to increase your online presence. After we have our call on Wednesday, if we feel we could be a good fit to work together, we can always create a scope of work. We talk more about that then. But either way, say if it's not going to be a good fit, we at least want to let you know as a business owner some of the things that should still happen. Like you can take this to your marketing team after this call and they can work on some of these things here. So we're going to go over your website. We're going to go over your Google business profile. That's the thing that shows up on maps because a lot of calls come in from there. And then we'll end the video. So first thing on your website, I love that you have your name nice and big up top. It's really important for people to know who they're working with, what page they're going to. I love this click to call button on here. Nice and big. It lets people know how to get in touch with you. It doesn't really explain too well, what it is you do. I know you have this menu that kind of clicks through, but like Invest Smart just leads to this comparisons page. Learn More leads to this comparison page. Like you mentioned close sell specifically like down there, but see it like disappears at times. Love the pictures that you have on here. You have this like weird code. I don't know what was attempting to happen on there. And then you just kind of have like the mud jacking before and afters thrown on here. I know you have like the page for the lifting, foam insulation, talking about why closed cell is better than open cell. Little brief video about you. We can always throw that on a different website if we have to. Contact us page, and then your Facebook's like kind of tucked away, hidden in the corner. These are like service pages, kind of. Like you have your like tab here about retro jobs, ag shops. It's kind of all over the place. Like it doesn't really elicit, it doesn't convert well, I would imagine. And so, I'm sure you get it though. The next thing I want to go over here real quick is your Google business profile. It's the thing that shows up on maps. That's this section right here. And what I did is that if you look over here on the top right, I changed my location to Bismarck and I typed in insulation contractor near me. And you see this blue dot, that's where it's showing that I am, right in the middle of Bismarck. And it shows 3 results, and great news is that you're in the top 3, but there's a couple problems here. One, your website's not attached to it. So people don't get to learn anything about you. You don't get to persuade them. This listing up here in your website is like a 24/7 online salesman who gets to do a lot of work and bring in customers for you, right? So you're shooting yourself in the foot here by not having your website attached. Second thing that's a big problem is that you only have 3 reviews on here, and you only had, I think, 3 reviews on Facebook. So you have the least amount of reviews, you're the hardest person to get in touch with, and you have the lowest rating. Now, it's not saying you do a bad job, but imagine what that image is for customers when they're searching and they're looking, and then this is what they see. I bet you these 2 guys are getting more calls, and who knows what it is between them. They're pretty neck and neck on there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not all is lost on this. Better website, getting it connected on here, more reviews, you're really going to start to turn things around. Like when I went to your Facebook page, you had someone who didn't recommend you from like 2013. And it's like if some guy who left a review 10 years ago is the thing that's holding you back, it's small but actionable steps that we can definitely be taking to make sure that you're getting some more work. And one of the cool things that we can do here, this will be the last thing and then I'll end the video, is that we can look at how well these profiles are actually ranking. What I mean by that is that you have to think of these as antennas. So you see these little red dots? That's like a competitor's antenna. There's one there, one there, one there. And when people are searching, some people are going to see things different on the north side of town than on the south side of town because each antenna has a radius, right? There are signals that can be amplified or they can be diminished on here. And for this purpose, right, for websites, online stuff, we're talking about SEO, search engine optimization. Now, for your company here, you're not doing terribly. Don't get me wrong. You're not that bad. You can win this market 100%. So this is for insulation contractor, this keyword right here. And if I zoom in a little bit, you're crushing it over in Mandan. You're doing all right in like central Bismarck. Outskirts of town, not so much. And then, obviously we get to the boons. This is a 169 square foot radius, 13 by 13. Each one of these pins is 1 mile away from one another. You could absolutely crush this. Again, though, going back to one of the big problems that you're having is that you're going to show up, but then this is what people are going to see. So you have to get this cleaned up. But maybe that's why you reached out, right? I can learn more about that on Wednesday. The next keyword that we looked at here, again, great news. This is for spray foam insulation. you're doing really well for spray foam. Mandan, you're controlling it. Bismarck, most of the city. Outskirts, north side, you're doing well. East side, not as much. You can tell me if that's a good or bad spot. I'm not sure. One of the areas that you're not doing well in, though, is for mud jacking, concrete lifting. You're not showing up at all. I literally had to even pull up this other company just to get a search on a map. And then what I can do with this map is I can go through and I can see who is ranking well for these terms. Like, we get a whole list. We can see how many people are showing in the top 3, what their average score is. It's like golf, the lower is better. And you're not like on here. Like, I had to go all the way down to the bottom of this list, and your company's just not even there. So that is something where, if we really wanted to focus on cleaning up the insulation site and then putting up maybe a companion site for getting the volume for concrete lifting, getting the people who are searching for mud jacking to come in, I think that could be something that really gets you a lot more work. One of the last things I want to show you too, actually real quick here, is when I'm talking about companion sites. This is for a company who we work with out in Virginia, and I just want to show you some results. They are in Chesapeake, outside of Virginia Beach, and so this is where they were at just under 3 weeks ago for spray foam insulation. Now, I know you're doing well for this keyword, but they weren't. I just want to show you some of the results that we're able to get the people who we work with here. So see, this was on March 17th we ran this map, and their antenna is just not doing great at all, right? Just not much showing up. But if we go and we fast forward to earlier today when we checked in on it, this is less than 3 weeks, we're talking about with moving the needle here. Now, I can't promise that every result's going to be like that, but we can very quickly here, again, through actionable needle moving steps, see a lot of good results for the people who we work with. Hopefully this provided you, some good insight with where you're at, some of the things that needed to be worked on. Again, after our call on Wednesday, if we decide we're not going to be a good fit with working with one another, you can still at least take this, send it over to your marketing team to help you get more of those calls that I know you're looking for. I'll talk to you soon.